Okay, it's happening. We're doing the thing. Is it working? Perhaps? Okay, someone's here. I think it's working. It's happening. Naz Riahi is gonna join in a minute. It's all good. My hair is over my face. Hello. Hi. Hello, people. Well, these things, I find them quite stressful. But fun. Fun too. Jazz is here. Wait, Naz is texting me. She just said, wait. What is up? I'm waiting for her next text. She says she has to log back in. She's not logged in. Okay. Can you hear me? Yes? Great. How are you all today? It's freezing in New York City. I was in like a huge hoodie and then decided that I could not do a live in a huge hoodie. Anyway, we're just waiting for Naz Riahi and then we're gonna... oh, okay, I see her request. Request to join. It's happening. Okay, accept. I think this is happening. Is it happening? Damn. Oh, you're here. Yay. I did it.
We did it. We did it.
We did it.
I have another account that I have on here that I don't use. But
Is
it's
it
like
a Hugo account? Is
my
there a Hugo account that I don't know about?
Hugo has a hashtag, Hugo Terrier. So he doesn't have his own account because that's just too much for me, but hashtag Hugo Terrier. But for some reason, even though I never use this other account, and it's not a Finsta or anything. It was this old thing that I had, this old project. It asked me to join with that, and I was like, no. So I had to log back out.
I would have had no idea.
Hi.
I too do not have an Instagram for the cats. It's just too much for me, but I wish I did.
It's too much. They are very, listen, all of our animals are very special. They all deserve their own celebrity status and Instagram account. But you know, there's only so much we can do.
Yeah, there's only so much we can do in our busy, busy lives. I'm sure that Simon or Alfie at some point will come and join because they always get very jealous the minute I'm like on a call. They just come and like put their ass to the camera.
Beautiful. Hugo likes to put his ass in my face in bed. He sleeps opposite me in bed. He sleeps on a pillow next to me. It's really, I'm trying to break him of that habit. It's been 9 years, and I think it's too late now. But
okay, but we're not here to talk about our pets.
No, we aren't.
About Triptych.
We aren't.
And
yet.
The first video is out. You can watch Holding On Now on YouTube. There's a link in my bio.
And so many people have watched.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone who has watched already. And Naz is the wonderful director of the videos, and we connected. When was it that we first met? Was it like February?
Yeah, it must have been almost a year ago, February or March. And someone that I know, not very well, but that, you know, I was connected to professionally, messaged me and said, do you know that show Dickinson? And I was like, yes, it's one of my favorite shows. Like, I was totally that person who was DMing Elena about how much I love the writing and the episodes and everything. So
great. I love a Dickinson fan. Hello, all Dickinson fans that are here right now. Thank you for watching.
Totally. And so, by the way, side note, I don't get any of the text like messages that people are writing, so I can't see any of that. So if you see stuff, you're responsible for reading it.
I'm seeing things. Somebody just said, wink if you see this, Ella, and I nearly winked and then was like, this is going to be too odd. If you didn't catch that message, you're just going to be like, why is Ella winking?
Yeah, totally. And also, a side note, there is someone here who messaged yesterday and it's their birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday to all the people here who may or may not have birthdays. We send you love.
Yeah, happy birthday to all the birthdays. I think we're officially in Sagittarius season. So should we talk about a little bit about how we came together and the process of like coming up with the idea for these videos? But I also really want to hear, maybe we should back up a little bit, because I also really want to hear about how you wrote, like the process of writing these songs. Because when the songs were first sent to me, the way that music video directing works is that the artist will reach out to several directors, or their team will reach out. Your team reached out to me, and the directors will listen to the song, or the songs in this case, because you wanted the same director for all three videos.
Yeah.
And they'll think about what might be, you might have a brief and you might have some suggestions of what you're thinking, in which case you did, we'll talk about that. And then so I listened to the music, and based on the music and the brief, I came up with some ideas. And but the music to me was so striking and so different. It was lyrically different and it was rhythmically different, and I'm not well versed in the
By rhythmically different, you mean there's absolutely no rhythm.
I was like, great, I'm gonna make a video for songs with no beat,
no drums,
like no.
Yeah, and then you called me one day and you were like, Hannah, do you think dancing is possible? Like, could we do that? And we were like, yeah, we can do that. No drums, no beat, but we can do that.
And
anyway,
sneak peek, can we say that we might have done that?
Yeah, there may be a video that is very dance heavy in a sort of bizarre Ella and Naz fashion.
Totally, very on brand for us. So yeah, tell me. Okay, so you wrote these incredibly vulnerable, beautiful songs, and I'm just gonna say that the process of listening to them for me is that I immediately loved them, but somehow they became richer and richer. And I think I told you this yesterday. I've been rewatching the video, and or even if I go on my Instagram and I see it on the grid, I watch the whole thing, even though I've heard the song so many. I can like sing you the song, but I can't stop. Once I start, I can't stop listening. So tell us about writing them and that.
Well, oh golly, I always find it so hard to chat on these things. I'm like seeing people's comments come up and I'm like, words just elude me. Anyway, I started writing these songs my first year in New York. So I've been here for just over 3 years now, and I was going through a breakup, a really nasty. I mean, is a breakup ever not nasty? I don't know. It was a heavy breakup, and it was from a long distance relationship. And all of these songs are kind of loosely based around the breakdown of a long distance relationship. But yeah, I'd started the process of writing these songs and then sort of put them to the side for a bit. And then when the pandemic hit in early 2020, I went back to Devon, which is my childhood home. And just I had like we all did, I had a lot of time on my hands, and I started sort of reprocessing this breakup. I think partially because I felt like I was in a long distance relationship with humanity for a moment. And I think we all did. I was so like desperate for connection, and also felt completely disconnected from the world. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of how I'd felt at the end of this relationship. And because I had all of this time, I realized that the music I had been making and recording, I've been writing since I was a kid, but only recording since I was about 17, 18. And it's taken me a while to work out how I wanted these songs to sound. And my lyrics are so like diaristic and personal and bitty. Like my songs can be very wordy. Oh, Silas is here. He just put a heart. Hi, Silas.
Oh, hi, Silas.
Silas is one of the wonderful directors from Dickinson, who me and Naz both love and adore. But yeah, in taking time over the pandemic, I started thinking about how I wanted to frame these songs sonically so that the lyrics could stand out, but also so that you weren't like listening to them like you might listen to musical theater music. Like I wanted the sound to kind of hug people, for it to feel like this warm hug, that from that place of safety and coziness, then you could feel the kind of gut punch of how like personal the songs are. But anyway, I was on my own for about 6 months, or I was with my family on my own in Devon, just thinking a lot about these songs, thinking and making vocal loops, and playing with atmospheric electronic sounds that I hadn't played with before. And when I got back to New York, me and Thomas, my partner, and an amazing producer, spent this incredible 2 weeks making all of this music. We recorded
like all 3 of these EPs that I'm going to be putting out in 2 weeks, and a lot of the songs are completely untouched since then. It was this just really creative moment in time. I think we were both so kind of bottled up with emotion from the pandemic, and it felt so good to all of a sudden just explode. So as a creative, I'm curious, did it ever feel like it was outside of you, like almost like it was something that was being channeled through you? Because that's what it feels like when I listen to them.
My happiest experience is writing, and I wonder if this is the same for you, is when it just feels completely out of body, and you have, I don't know, 3 minutes or 10 minutes or a half an hour, or I mean, in some incredible cases, a day, where it's just you're not attached to your body. You're just in this place where you have to write, you have to make the thing. So definitely those 2 weeks, there were many moments of that. And the song I'm almost most excited to come out is called Bugs to Kill. It's the final track on the EP. It might be it's my favorite of the videos. I'm curious to hear which is your favorite. But Bugs for me was, I had all of these pieces of Bugs that I'd written over the pandemic, and that I didn't know were pieces of the same song. They were all different kind of vocal fragments and stanzas that I'd written, and one particular stanza, while I had to quarantine to get back into America. I had these 2 weeks where it was just me on an island without a piano. And so I made this really strange vocal recording where I'm humming and then I'm speaking over it. And it was just, it was an odd experiment. And I got back to New York, and the first day Thomas and I were in the studio, I pulled out this recording, and then we'd been talking about another song that I wanted to completely scrap and start again. And it was like, oh my gosh, these are actually all the same thing. And within the course of 6 hours, we'd made Bugs to Kill, and we came home and put it on, and I cried because it felt like the music that I wanted to make, and everything has been led from that.
Yeah, that really resonates for me because before I started to make films, I've been a writer for my whole life, and I feel like there are definitely pieces that I start to write, and I have a lot of essays and stories that are published, but there are definitely things that I start that feel like a struggle, and sometimes it's worth going through that struggle just for the experience of having said, okay, I did it and I broke it down and I wrote it. But the things that I write that are the best pieces flow through me. They're never a struggle. They just come to me and they pour out very quickly, kind of like your experience with Thomas in recording these. And they, just like you said, they don't end up changing much from that first version.
I'm really not a big editor. There are some things where I'll edit and edit and edit, but I'll never feel as good as I do with the things that come out and are just, to me, perfect in the way that I want them to be.
Yeah.
But actually, I feel like that's a good segue into talking about the videos. One of the things that made me want to work with Naz originally was reading her piece, The Hungry Heart, I want to call it. Was it called The Hungry Heart? I just loved, I knew when I was thinking about the videos that I wanted to find someone who had a really strong writing background, or someone that was as good on story as they were on visual, because I wanted to make a departure from how diaristic and personal the songs were. I wanted to find someone who could put their own personal writer's touch on the music, their own interpretation of what this music meant. And when I first got in touch with you, I sent a very short brief just saying that I wanted to create this like unexpected slice of intimacy in my home. I knew I wanted to film all of the tracks in my house that I'm in right now. And I wanted there to be an element of the surreal within the mundane, or within everyday actions. And you just took that and ran with it. For a moment, you had a little pause where you thought that a goat should be involved, but then
I stand by the goat.
Found our way back.
I stand by the goat. And you know what? You're the one who was like, after thinking about the goat for a couple of days, you got back to me and you were like, what if we do something else? What if it's a tree? And I was like,
go into this more. It's so abstract for people.
So the way that so you didn't give me, which I loved and I was grateful for, besides that brief, which was intimacy and surrealness, totally up my alley. You didn't put a very firm structure around what you wanted. You really wanted me to come up with something. And so after listening to these songs, literally, like, I would walk my dog around the park over and over again. I live in Brooklyn, and I would listen to the music. I realized that, and really the videos could have been completely standalone. They could have been anything. But I realized that they should be a film. They should be a short film and interconnected in some way.
I think that was something that I really cared about too, was finding a way for them all to be interconnected and tie in with having grown up on film sets and loving film. And 3 songs adds up to about 13 minutes, which is kind of perfect short film length.
Perfect. Yeah. And also, you know, I asked you, I said, do you want these to be literal? And you said, absolutely not, which I was delighted by.
No, I really wanted them to be a departure from the literal, because my lyrics are so literal.
Yeah. And so then we started to sort of talk about the ideas, and the ideas definitely evolved over the course of time, both with the limitations that we had in place.
God, yeah. Also,
we had a lot
like
of
our second video we shot, we had no idea until the morning we were shooting it.
I was literally like, I kind of had an idea, but not exactly. And I remember laying in bed the night before, and I was so exhausted because we had a really long day the day before. We shot 3 videos. We made a short film in a day and a half.
Yeah.
And one
of them is a dance video, which is just madness, that we shot a full movement piece and then 2 other videos in the same day.
Absolutely. It's complete madness. No one thought it would get done. And so I remember after we shot the first and the third video on the first day. And then the second video, we had a half a day to shoot it the second day. And I remember laying in bed, completely panicked the night before, thinking, what are we doing? How are we going to do this? And then I came in and I was like, okay, we're going to do a single take video. And everybody was like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, yes, we can.
DP was like, I don't think we can do that in the time frame we have.
No, Bella, our DP, was amazing. She was a rock star. She held the camera the whole time. She did a beautiful job. And
we had an incredible crew of predominantly women, amazing people. And very, very strong, awesome women in our crew.
Very, very. Everyone was incredibly professional and incredibly good at their job. And no one was shy about opining. And I think it was a very collaborative set in that way, is that I said this going into it to everybody. I said, I want to hear your opinions, because if it's something that's going to make this better, then let's do it. I don't have an ego. And you don't have an ego going into things like this at all. It's all in service of the art, ultimately. And so, thankfully, Bella was like, I don't know, like, there'll be shadows. I don't know if we can do it. And then she did a really kick-ass job. And I think we got it in like the 5th or 6th take.
I think it might have been more like the 10th. It felt like the 10th to me.
I don't think it was. I think it was very, and when you see the video, Ella walks by a closed door, and that was Andros and I were in the bathroom on a little tiny
bathroom. Yeah, because we shot the whole thing in my apartment, which is only 2 floors. Yeah. And so everyone had to find places to hide, including the cats. And I can't wait for Alfie's starring role in one of the videos. I'm very, very excited to see Alfie's role. But I feel like we should talk about Holding On some more, as that is the one that is out.
Yes, absolutely. So the thing that really delights me is that I've seen these videos so many times now. And I thought that by the time they came out, I was just going to be sort of like, oh yeah, cool, we did this thing. And I'm still in love with it, like maybe more than I ever have been. And I know you said that Bugs is your favorite, but I truly, truly do not have a favorite. Like, I absolutely love, because they're also different from each other too, even though they're one story, that I deeply love this video, and I don't get bored from it. And I wonder if that sounds egotistical, but I don't know.
No, I don't know about you, but I have, through different parts of the process, I have felt a different relationship to the videos. So there was a moment where I just had no idea how these were going to come out, and I was looking for the right label and the right strategy for putting out the songs, and I didn't feel able to relate to the videos that we'd made. I think out of like self-preservation, I just didn't want to look at them. I didn't want to think about it. And now that they're out, it feels so wonderful. And I have a completely different experience watching them because I know that other people are watching them.
Yeah.
And having the experience of going, okay, so why is this tree in this person's home? How did they get this tree in this person's home? What does it mean? I feel like we should maybe talk about that a bit. So like
and shout out to Elvis and Reed, our production design team,
production design team. They were extraordinary given the like limited budget and limited time that we had. I wanted to create, in one of the videos we fill an entire room with greenery, and they did that all in like 4 hours the day beforehand. It was
unbelievable. And then they struck that set and built a whole new set in one day,
and pulled a tree up the stairs so I could drag it down. And and cleaned up the whole house. It was incredible. I mean, my house did have little bits of dirt in the corners for weeks afterwards. It was a real process. But I feel like people need to know that the tree is now planted in my garden.
Yeah.
And thriving. It is thriving. I thought it was going to die. Elvis was convinced it was going to die. But it is thriving. Yeah.
So the tree, do you want to talk about the symbolism? Do you want to talk about why we chose the tree?
Yeah, I mean, I simultaneously want people to make their own deductions of what the tree means to them, but also you, me, and Andros, our wonderful choreographer, and also Andros stars in the videos alongside me, had some really wonderful, lengthy conversations about relationships and untangling relationships, and both the delicacy and also the violence that it takes to end a relationship or to untangle yourself from a relationship. And I remember the morning that you called me. We had our idea for Bugs to Kill, and we vaguely knew what we were going to do for Moral High Ground, but we had no idea what we were going to do for Holding On. And you called me and you were like, what if we just had this beautiful tree in the middle of the room that you and Andros are trying to nurture and keep alive? And then at some point you realize that you can't nurture it any longer, and it's like this albatross around your neck, and you drag the tree through your house violently, viscerally, exhaustingly, drag it through your house and put it and dispose of it. And that just felt so exciting to me. I was like immediately thrilled. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I remember calling like several friends after we'd had that conversation because I was just like so elated by the idea of doing this like slightly crazy, strange, beautiful thing.
That's great. And I feel like for me, it added this texture to sort of this really deeply moving and tender piece of music, where the violence of it is surprising.
Yeah, and we didn't want the videos to be too pretty. Like I remember when we were talking about the aesthetic and what I was going to wear, you didn't want, and I love this because I do so much as an actress where I'm kind of super glammed up or like in a corset or in like a full face of makeup in some ridiculous outfit. You didn't want us to go that direction with the way that I looked in the videos. You wanted me to be in my jeans. Little Easter egg for people. These are the jeans that I wear in the videos and that I wear basically every day of my life.
They're the jeans you were wearing every time we hung out and met. So.
Yeah, these are, I just, as a person in my day-to-day life, I like to wear the same thing all the time.
I love them. They look great. And we did explore some overall options for you, and ultimately these looked the best.
Yeah, this is what we ended up doing. But yeah, I love that we had a lot of conversations about keeping the aesthetic raw and natural and I mean ugly in moments. Like we didn't want it to be like beautiful and polished.
No, and as a filmmaker, I'm really driven to, as an artist, I'm really driven to sort of the depth of emotion that something imperfect brings. And I think that if something is too perfect and too beautiful and too aesthetic, it doesn't always work for me. And also these were songs that needed to also shine. The video couldn't overpower the songs. The songs still had to drive the video. And that was really, really, and the music, that was really important to me. But I remember talking to you because you had watched both of my short films, which are intentionally very lo-fi.
They were, I had this instinctive reaction watching, within the first 3 minutes of watching Sincerely Eric, which was Naz's first film. Naz made the Sincerely Eric over the pandemic, having never made a movie before. And then it went on to win Vimeo Best Short Film of the Year award.
Yeah.
It was a Vimeo staff pick. It's been written about and shared so many times. I love Sincerely Eric and I love Andros in the City, which are sort of part of the same project. But I had this instinctive reaction 3 minutes into watching it that you were the filmmaker that I wanted to work with on these videos.
Oh, that means so much to me. And
yes,
I think,
please, everyone watching this, please go and watch Naz's first 2 films. They will move you, they'll make you cry, they'll make you happy. They're just they make me very happy, these movies. And they have that same feeling that I think you're talking about with the Holding On video, of that you come back and watch it again and again and you're not quite sure why, but you just need to see it again.
Thank you. That's blowing my mind right now. That means so much to me because you do have such good taste. So thank you. But I also, I think those are aesthetically very lo-fi. So I did sort of have to, I wanted to clarify for you that like, we weren't going to make these that lo-fi, but we still were very conscious about the color grade, for example, also of the videos, and like the way that they, and I think like for both of us, we wanted to make something that was very different than what was out there. And I feel like what's out there in the music video space moves me and is beautiful. And I love so many music videos, but they are very aesthetically similar. And we wanted to make something that really was different.
Yeah, I really I feel like there is this movement at the moment into Aurora Stranger realm. Like I'm seeing friends and artists do that both in their music and in their videos, and I think we definitely wanted to be a part of that new school of thought, and wanted to make something that felt different and odd, which I think we did. And people can go and watch them now, or not watch the whole film. The whole film will be coming out on December 9th with Triptych. I'm very, very excited. The whole EP will be out on December 9th. And you can pre-save it now. There's a link in my bio. What else? I feel
do we want to take some questions? Should we do that?
Perhaps.
I can't see. I don't know if someone can tell me anything. Oh, I don't know what I just did. I can't see any of the questions.
Okay,
so
I'm scrolling through.
Okay.
I'm looking. Wait. I mean, it's just a lot of hearts and Brazil flags.
Oh,
Te amo, Brazil.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, Naz. I am scrolling. No. There's just a lot of
do your thing.
Brazil and hearts. I am looking.
So, if anyone has a question,
maybe the questions are here. Okay.
Is there a difference?
Okay, someone asked, how is the tree? Which I've absolutely... What is the tree's name? What is the tree's name, Naz?
Oh, shit. We don't have a name for the tree. Okay, we're going to have to think about this, and then we'll post it on Instagram.
I mean, maybe we should do a poll, give people an option of what they want to name the tree.
That's such a good idea. Yes.
I am now reading through people's questions.
Okay, there are questions. Yeah. I will say, while you're reading through questions, I'm going to say, I wanted to ask you what you were reading, and I am starting today this book that you got me for my birthday.
Oh, are you reading Meatless Days?
I'm going to start today. I'm so excited about this, Meatless Days. It's a memoir, and Ella told me about this book over multiple conversations. She wouldn't stop talking about it, and she kept being like, buy it. And for some reason, I was like, okay, I'll buy it. And then I never did. And then she showed up at my house with it the other day.
I'm reading through these questions, and I feel like we've answered a lot of them, and I don't want us to repeat ourselves. Yeah, but if there are more that come up, we can absolutely take them. And I am reading Clara and the Sun by Ishiguro. And
I've heard that's really good.
It's so emotional, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
And what are you listening to at the moment?
Oh, so I just went and saw, well, I'm listening to, obviously we already talked about this, Holding On, just basically still on repeat. And Andros and I were at his country house, and I was helping him with a short film that he was making, and he was making me breakfast in the morning. And then he started to hum one of the songs, and then we started to sing them just because we were so like involved, you know, together in this for like a very concentrated period of time, listening to them over and over again. I think I sent you a video of that day that we were doing
Yes.
that. But I just saw the other day, I went and saw, one of my favorite filmmakers is Joanna Hogg. She's an English filmmaker, and I love her work. And the new film she has, it's The Souvenir Part 2. And it was especially resonant to me and important to me because it's about the process of how she became, it's an autobiographical trilogy that she's making, and this part is about how she became a filmmaker. It's like she's working on her graduate thesis for film school, and it's about a young woman becoming an artist, which I read this in the New York Times. It's something that you don't see on film. You see so many men becoming artists, but you don't often see the process of a
artistic journey.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so one of the songs and one of the artists in the film, who I thought was Kate Bush, I don't know why I thought this, I guess there's something similar about the tenor of their voice, is the singer called Anna Cavalli, I think. And so I've been listening to her music, and I'm totally in love with it. Anna Calvi or Cavalli or something. I have to.
Anna Calvi.
Okay, yeah, Anna Calvi. Yeah, and obsessed with it. What are you listening to?
My friend just 2 days ago recommended this Dijon album that he recorded live in his home. It's very in the style of our videos in terms of that it's all set in this one apartment, and it makes me want to do a live gig set in the apartment. Like, I think I need to do this.
Oh, that would be amazing.
It's so beautiful. I want to say that the album is called Absolutely, but on that point, what was someone asking me? Damn. I had a question that I had seen that I wanted to answer.
Was it about whether you would ever do the songs live? I saw that someone had asked that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is going to happen. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll be in the front row of her concert. I'm like, if you know me, if you follow me, I'm like the least cool person ever. I'm super eager and enthusiastic and happy about things. And so like literally I won't be like in the back, like tapping my feet. I'll be in the front, like screaming and taking pictures. Like such a dork.
I want to find this question. Is there a specific moment that you think is best for writing your songs? No, it really is just whenever they come to me, and they're it's often not right in the moment of experiencing whatever I'm experiencing. Oh, this was the question that I wanted to answer. Has COVID-19 affected us in terms of our experience of making these films, and why did we make the films in the house? Okay. I knew right from the start of making these films that I wanted to shoot them in the house. Something about shooting in my apartment felt very personal. I feel like it is very personal. I do a lot where I'm acting and being someone else. And I really wanted this first project of music to be an absolute expression of who I am. And I liked the restraints of doing all of the videos in the house. I wanted to find a way of building a world in such a small environment. And the songs are so much about isolation and connection. And we've all experienced those feelings during the pandemic from the comfort of our homes. And so I felt like making these films in my home was the only option to me. It was right from the beginning. That was where I wanted to do it.
I find a lot of creative freedom in creative restraints. I feel like when you have guideposts and things that you cannot do, it sort of allows you to create something that is more powerful and impactful in a way, at least for me. So for example, shooting these in your house, we had a lot of limitations. There were like, can we paint this wall? Can we put this here? Can we move this here? No. And like, we have a day and a half. Like, those are all very intense considerations and restraints, which I don't know that if we'd had a, $200,000 budget or whatever, we would have made the same kind of film that we really wanted to make. I think it helped us bring that.
No, I'm really glad that we had the restraints that we had. because I think it's made something more personal and absolutely something that I won't ever be able to recreate this again. But I'll always walk around I feel like I should do a little walk around my house and find the cats.
Yes.
Okay. This is the star of the videos.
Alfie.
This is Alfie. Where's Simon? Is Simon in here? Maybe not.
Simon's like, Alfie's like me. Alfie's like, yeah, I'll be on camera. Simon's a little cooler. Simon's like,
yeah, Simon is much, much cooler. Okay, but to just to prove that we really truly did shoot these films in my house, this is the staircase that I dragged the tree down.
oh yes.
Mm-hmm. And then I have not cleaned my house. I'm a little concerned about what I'm bringing you up to.
It's fine.
But like, we painted the ceiling yellow because Naz wanted to bring a pop of color into the room, and my ceiling is still yellow.
Oh, it's such a beautiful yellow too.
I love this yellow. It's staying like this. Yeah, and now the room has a bed in it. But this is where the tree was.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. Yeah. I love
wild.
That.
Thank
you for showing
wild.
us that. Yeah. We did it. And
just,
people,
felt like I needed to give people a sense of really that we were really truly in my apartment making videos.
And it makes me so thrilled to have people message me and talk about what the video means to them. And I'm sure you feel the same way, and the music, and when they post it and share it, like, it's just, when you make a piece of art, you have no idea how it's going to be received in the world. And in a way, it's really important that the process of making it is the thing that you ground yourself in, and not the reception that it's going to get. But of course, it's really just so wonderful and fills my heart with so much love to get the response that we've been getting.
Yeah, I'm really so grateful for everyone who has shared and listened to the songs so far. This is like a big new chapter in my life and what I do publicly, and to feel as like supported and heard as I feel is just such a gift. I'm really, I feel maybe the happiest that I've ever felt putting out this music. And I'm so excited for people to see the rest of the film, because when we made this together and when I made the tracks, I really did see them as an experience altogether. And so I'm really happy at how quickly it's all coming out. So people can pre-save the songs now. The songs and the film come out on December 9th. And stay tuned for more updates, and maybe Naz and I will come back on and chat again when the full film comes out. But for now, thank you so much, everyone who's tuned in. There's a link in bio to listen to the tracks and pre-save. And go and watch Naz's films too. There's such an amazing insight into Naz as a filmmaker.
Thank you.
Yeah, so sending so much love to everyone who's come and listened. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And I will say that, surprisingly, because this doesn't always happen, the most fulfilling part of this process has been my friendship with you. I love you so much.
And we got so lucky. we have definitely fallen in love in a really great and glorious way.
And I think we have a long road of collaborations ahead of us.
Fuck yeah. Okay, bye. Thank you all for watching.
Bye.